thanks everyone for coming. If you told me earlier this year that I would be on a panel discussing the state of journalism in Turkey with such august company, I wouldn't have believed it. But journalism is an industry that's full of surprises, and in fact, is perhaps one of the only industries in which you wake up every morning without possessing the raw materials required to do your job. You're either searching for information or you're kind of waiting to see what the world throws at you. So, it's really unsettling when you wake up one morning and you're the story. Your organization is the story. Your journalists, your friends, your colleagues have become the very story you're supposed to be reporting on. And that's what happened when we found out that our crew of 3 journalists working in southeast Turkey had been detained. And these things, they happen. So you don't immediately panic. People get detained. They get a hard time. They get released. It's just kind of part of the game, so to speak. But in this situation, it just kept going on, and it just kept getting more and more surprising and confusing. Another day you wake up and find that your colleagues have been charged under the completely ridiculous claim that they were supporting a terrorist organization. About a week later, you wake up and find that, good news, they've been released. Or actually, just 2 of them have been released. Meanwhile, the third, Mohammed Rasul, Iraqi Kurd, is still being held. And in the meantime, we're trying to do everything we can to get him out. We're kind of transformed from journalists into diplomats, which is an uncomfortable place for a journalist. We're used to being really annoying to people in power and trying to wrangle information from them. We're not used to asking favors or pleading with a nation state to please let our friend out of jail. And the stories just kept coming. Another day, weeks later, you wake up and find a government official from Turkey pronouncing Rasul guilty without any evidence. He's not gone to trial. He's still in a pre-trial investigation phase. And then most recently, it was quite shocking and upsetting to wake up and see the headline of a prominent Turkish human rights lawyer gunned down while giving a talk about, basically calling for peace, and finding out that in fact that is, of course, Rasul's lawyer. So it's kind of it's been a wild ride, I have to say, and part of that wild ride is sitting here today in the city that I call home, and feeling that, especially upsetting for a journalist to be sitting in his home turf and to not be able to speak freely, and thousands of miles away from Turkey, just feeling that there is a danger that something I say here today could have some negative impact on Rasul's case. That some misinterpretation could lead to our friend not getting out of jail, is really unsettling. And so that's why I'm going to try to stop talking now and instead show you a little video, which is a little more carefully constructed and more deliberate in tone, if we can.
Yeah, it's right up here.
The very existence of democracy relies on a free and thriving fourth estate. Vice News reporter Mohammed Rasul has been imprisoned in Turkey for almost 2 months on completely baseless charges.
They send us forces convoy with Asayish, but it seems that they cannot pass us through.
In August, 3 Vice News journalists working in southeast Turkey were arrested and imprisoned on the ridiculous charges of supporting a terrorist organization. After an appeal to the court, 2 of the 3, Jake Hanrahan and Phil Pendlebury,